I guess just to start out, just what have you noticed about Tennessee so far, just in scouting, and just what have you, yeah, what stands out about Tennessee?
First thing is their physicality. One of the toughest teams in the country. One of the best offensive teams in the country. They run their stuff hard. They take good shots. They got good scoring. They got great rebounding, great length, and they got a floor general on the floor that controls the game. Very good team. You can see why they're number one in the country.
And you mentioned the physicality there, and I know Coach Calipari had talked a little bit about wanting to be more physical going into this game. Just how do you, I guess, kind of implement that, going into league play at this stage of the season?
I think we just have to simulate how the game is going to be played, without referees, meaning that how does this team play? They're going to hit you. They're going to set good, strong, hard screens, and you have to be able to deal with it. And we have to do the same. We have to play tougher around the basket. We have to hit first and not be hit, and then go attack balls.
And then obviously Jonas came from Tennessee last year. Just how much have you guys been leaning on him in the prep to this game, and how much has he maybe, I guess, been just, I guess, from a scouting perspective, if that makes sense?
Well, the great thing about this team and Coach Cal is that him and Coach Barnes have been friends for quite some time and very familiar with each other. So it's not like there's no familiarity with who Tennessee is, what type of coach they have. Jonas just brings an added plus because he's coming from that program, and he knows it, to a strong extent, maybe a little better than we do, but we know how the game is going to be played. We know how good they are. We know what they bring into the table.
Connor?
Hey, Coach, appreciate you talking to us. Big Z's been a little banged up the last stretch of games. Just going into conference play, where do you kind of see his role being, and what do you need from him going forward?
I think that Z is a unique situation because 7'2" and the way he shoots the ball and his touch around the basket, we need him. We need his length. We need him to bring a physicality, a toughness to the game, but also we need his offense. He was sick for a while and he's just now getting healthy. We need him to prepare to play great, have great practices leading up to a game because that's how you know you're going to play well in the game by how you practice. And he's been trying really hard, and we need for him to bring it.
And then for the freshmen, obviously you've got veterans who have played in the SEC before and major college basketball, but the freshmen, Boogie, Carter, and Billy, what do you kind of need to see from them, and what have you been talking to them? What's their mindset going into conference play? Because it's kind of a different from what y'all been playing in non-conference.
No question. I think that when you say conference play, let's just talk Tennessee first. This is the number one team in the country. This is a team that their fans come out in droves. The arena probably will be packed. The energy in the arena will be ridiculous. And these kids can't get overwhelmed by it. They have to lock into the game plan and play hard-nosed, tough, energetic basketball. So they'll get their feet wet real soon, and hopefully they're ready for the challenge. They seem to be. They've been playing hard. They've been practicing hard. They all are growing. All our freshmen are getting better. So we're excited for them, but they need to learn fast and fight hard.
Hutch.
Yeah, Coach, going back to Jonas, I know Coach said he was feeling a little bit under the weather last game. Just how is he feeling the last couple of days? How are you seeing from him?
He's getting better each day. Curious to see. We hadn't practiced yet today, but curious to see how he feels today and what he brings to the table in practice. And we need him. We need him 100%. We need his physicality. We need his scoring around the basket. We need his defensive presence. So we're hoping that he's feeling better and better, and he can come out and help us fight for a win.
Do you get a sense from him that there's an added layer of motivation for him going into this game, considering it's his former team?
No question, that's natural. He's done a lot of great things at Tennessee, and he's going back home, and I'm sure that there's emotions involved. I'm sure that the team is going to want to go at him some. I'm curious to see how he handles it, and go from there from it. But he's a vet. He's been in college 4 years, 3 or 4 years, whatever, and he's gonna come out, and that's why you get veteran guys on your team to handle these type of situations.
And last thing I got on him is when y'all brought him in, I'm curious. He was an All SEC player, obviously. What areas of his game did y'all think he maybe needed to focus on and improve, and how is he coming along in those areas?
The first thing is just playing more around the court, not just being around the basket. Being comfortable playing on the court, being comfortable shooting jump shots from elbows and occasional threes, um, being able to be great in dribble handoff situations and diving hard. Jonas has had a hard time because he's had injuries. And so some of that has negated his development in those areas. But we're getting him healthy now. He's better now. And he's a very, very vital piece to what we do. And any success that we have as a team, he's going to be a major piece to that.
Anthony.
Yeah, I guess kind of going back to what you said earlier, just on I guess all the reasons for Jonas to be excited about this game. Just as coaches, how do you, I guess, balance that, make sure that he is, keeping that hype and keeping that excitement going, but also making sure that, I guess, you guys don't overdo it if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Again, I go back to this. He's been in college 3 or 4 years. He's seen a lot of different situations. He knows that he can't be overhyped. He knows that it's going to be a physical brand of basketball. He knows that we need him on the court and he can't get in foul trouble. So he will have to, in some regards, be disciplined about how he plays, smart about how he plays, but also aggressive about how he plays at the same time.
And a lot has been made, I guess, on Trevin Brazil's kind of development since the start of the season. Just what have you kind of seen from him that's kind of made him, I guess, take some of the steps that he's taken thus far?
His energy level from day to day, practice habits from day to day, him buying in and accepting, I want to get better. I want to be pushed to be better. Him embracing that. He's done nothing but over the last 2 or 3 weeks, there's been a drastic change in how he approaches everything. He's a very good player. What he's doing defensively for us is been great. We need him to continue to do that because he brings a different dynamic to our team. He's a kid that can play the 4 or the 5, but then he can switch and guard guards, and sit down in the stands and move his feet and keep you in front and block 3-point shots. So that's vital for us. And he's embraced that role. He's playing with more spirit, more joy. He's having fun on the court, not just in games, but also in practice. And it's great to see for him.
And then just the last one from me. Obviously, you've been in the SEC before, and I know the focus is on Tennessee, but a lot has been made just about how deep and how strong the SEC is this season. Just what do you notice about the league as a whole? Is there anything different from past years that you've noticed? And just kind of what do you see there?
Definitely there's a difference from past years. I, was fortunate enough to go to the NBA, and this league reminds me a lot of the NBA and the fact that you have to take it game by game. You can't look ahead and say three games from now we play this team or that team. It is day by day. You better prepare for every single team in this conference as if they're the number one team because there's going to be a lot of parity. There's not a lot of wiggle room between one team from the top to the bottom, whoever they are from top to bottom. So you have to be prepared. So I would say that the day-to-day grind to prepare for who you got next is vital. And if you look 2 games ahead or 3 games ahead, you're in trouble.
Jackson.
Hey Kenny, you guys have gotten off to some slow starts against the Power Four teams that you've played on the schedule. came back against Miami and Michigan, but what can you point to something that's caused those slow starts? And is there anything you can do like in practice to kind of focus and work on that?
Well, I think we have addressed it. We've been better lately. The things that we've seen on tape that led to those slow starts was defensive pressure. We're a team that gets after you defensively. We have to be the aggressor. Our defense ignites our transition. So we have to get stops, we have to get steals, we have to get deflections and get out and fly in the open court where we're at our best. And if you stop us there, we have to be really diligent and focused on what we're doing offensively in the half court because we have a lot of weapons. And we have to make sure that we're not just playing passive basketball. When we're tentative or passive, we're not quite as good, and that's what led to those slow starts.
You've talked about Trevin and Jonas individually, but how important was it towards the end of the non-conference to give them a good amount of minutes together on the floor? And just from your expectations of that pairing preseason, what have they lived up to it, exceeded? What were your expectations for that pairing?
Well, the way that Coach Cal does this is we got 9 players, and every one of those 9 guys that he's going to put into a game, 9 focal players. Those 9 players all have to be able to play with each other. We got different lineups, Jonas and TB, Z and Jonas. They all bring different things to the table. But we've had so many injuries, it's been hard to pinpoint and get a lot of different feel and a lot of experience together. So we're still in that phase where we're learning about each other and which guys play well together. But those guys all now you're seeing, TB can play with anybody. Jonas can play with anybody. We can go small, we can go big, whatever it is. As long as we're disciplined in what we're doing and aggressive, we'll do well in it.
So, like when thinking about Tennessee, they've got the 2 bigs. Like, how much when you think about your starting and just your overall game lineups, are you focused on what they present, and then how much of it is just on what you guys want to do?
I think most of it has to be on what Coach Cal wants to do, and Coach Cal is more focused on us, and let the other team worry about us and change what they're doing to deal with us. We have a guy playing the 4 position right now that's playing one of the best players in college basketball in Adu Thero. So we don't have to just go big. Adu's 6'7", 6'8", who's athletic, who plays bigger than what he is, probably plays 6'10", and he's fast, active, aggressive. He rebounds. He does a little bit of everything. So we have to focus on us, but knowing what they do as well.
And last one from me. I know you might not give us an official status, but has John L been able to practice? How's he doing in his recovery?
Yes, he's been practicing. He's getting better. He still is missing a little bit of his rhythm, but he's back and he's getting better every day, and he's been going hard.
Anthony, wrap us up, please.
Well, that was one of the 2 that I had thought of, but I guess the other thing for me is just obviously Carter's kind of stepped up and been in John L's, I guess, role in the starting lineup. Just how have you seen him kind of embrace that role, and how has he kind of grown in there?
Well, Carter is one of the top players in the country coming out of high school. I've been watching him since he was very, very young, and to see him grow as a player, to see him being pushed and embracing it, to see him buying into defense, knowing that it's not a choice. Last game, he guarded the point guard, and he put immense pressure on that guard. Shows what type of player he is and can be at 6'7", 220. He's a strong body kid, and he's embraced that. And it's not just about scoring the basketball, which has been his MO from high school. Now he's bought into defense and rebounding and toughness, and that makes us a different team.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.